Hi! On the Woodpecker today, I'm giving you a shop tour. Today, I'm taking you on a tour of my shop. Don't worry, with only 300 square feet, this won't take much time. In the center of my shop, like in any respectable shop, there's a table saw. On the back wall, you can find, lying around, some of the jigs I made. They're leaning on the base of the radial saw. As you can see, I rarely use this tool. I mostly throw crap on it. The last time I used it was when I did the legs of my router cabinet. Speaking of the router cabinet, it sits between the table saw and the radial saw. When I made it, I thought all the drawers would be used for the router stuff, but I was wrong. One of the big drawers is full of can screws. The others hold their router bits, 2 die grinders and their rasps, and more router stuff. On the other side, I store tapes and featherboards, router bits, brass screws, and normal wood screws. The turning tool stand is in one corner of the shop. A scroll saw and different bench sanders lie on it. Beside it, there's a non-woodworking cabinet and its matching workbench. But as you can see, its primary use is to throw stuff that I don't know where else to put. Finally, my 2 fixed tools, the bandsaw and the drill press. In between them is where I clamp all my quick grips on a stud. In the other corner, you can find my mobile tools and the 6-inch jointer. My mobile tools are screwed to a pivoting mobile base. Here you can see the slot mortiser changing for the panto router. On the other one, there's the drum sander and the thickness planer. Behind all that, that is my clamp rack. And yes, there's even more clamps than when I built it. The dust collecting tools are together in the last corner. Most of the dust from the dust collector ends up in this cardboard barrel when it goes through this baffle. Finally, the last tool, if you can call this a tool, is my workbench. There's an end vise at one end. It also has a leg vise. To keep equal clamping through the whole length of the board, I move a stop on the bottom part of the leg the same thickness as the piece itself. This way, when I screw the top metal screw, the piece clamps straight. There are also a bunch of holes on the front, so I can use bench dogs to hold the long piece. The top has several holes, so bench dogs can be inserted anywhere. But the holes are not true holes, so screws and dust get trapped inside. But they're so useful to clamp something with surface clamp like this one. And planning stops like those are really useful. There are 6 drawers under the bench. They're full of hardware and hand tools. Behind it is where I store big pieces of wood and full plywood sheets. But this doesn't leave me a lot of space to maneuver behind it. The rest of my wood is stored on wall shelves. My main wood rack has several shelves. The last one holds my mahogany panels. The rest are stored under the mattress of a bed. But that's not all. I store wood hanging from the basement ceiling, under a desk, in the way, and in front of the TV. This is not that bad because it's only a couple of cedar boards. It's not the only thing you can find outside the workshop. My tool chest and my new jointer I tucked away behind the couch we sit on when we watch TV. I found a spot just in front of the basement stairs to keep my box tools. Under the stairs is my compressor. It's a bit noisy in the house when it works, but at least we don't trip on it. As you can see, it's pretty small for a shop. So to increase my workspace, I've decided to remove the garden shed and replace it with a brand new wood shop. It should look a lot like this when it'll be finished. I tried to think of everything. If you want to see the actual plan, you can find it on my website. The exterior will look like this and the interior will be more like this. Yes, I want to build a semi-traditional timber frame with a lot of windows. For the last 28 years, I've been working in a windowless basement, so there's no way I'm going to build a windowless coffin to do my woodworking. This is the timber frame itself, the hardest part to build, I think. But a virtual plan was not enough for me. I cut some wood scrap to make a 1/12 scale miniature. I even cut the tenons with the scroll saw and cut the mortises too. Now I have a small scale model of the frame of my new shop. Here you can see more clearly the tenon of the rafter, the mortise of the tie beam, and the placement of the screws. Yes, the tie beam will be screwed to the post with 18 inches long wood screws, similar to this one, but bigger and longer. The screws have a large flat head and it tips drills a hole while screwing into the wood. So pre-drilling is not necessary. All the braces that are going to be hidden into the walls will be screwed too. Only the visible ones will have tenons and mortises. The king post will have an open mortise at its top to help align it to the rafters. This looks really big, but the last section will serve as my shed. I'll use the top part of the shed, which will be inside the wood shop, to store my wood. To lift big heavy beams like those, I'll make a crane. I said to myself I won't be able to gather enough family members and friends to raise the timber frame in one weekend. I even made rough models of my big tools so I can visualize the electrical plugs and the dust ports. Speaking of the dust collector, it will be stored along with the compressor in a small room at the back of the shed section. I even cut a scaled full-size plywood sheet to have an idea of the space. Now you know what most of the next Woodpecker episodes will be about. I hope you'll watch my video to show my progress as my new workshop is being built. Take care and see you next time on the Woodpecker.